Hello, students. In the series of learning virtualization and cloud computing, today we are going to discuss about virtualization technology. So, the agenda of today's session will begin from understanding the challenges that x86 hardware-based virtualization was consisting of, and then we will move to understanding what is full virtualization, operating system, and hardware assisted virtualization, because these are the three technologies which were being implemented after facing certain issues in the hardware based virtualization facility. Then later, we will sum up this entire session by comparing all the technologies that we will be learning here in this session. So let's now begin with understanding what were the challenges of this x86 based virtualization. Now, the point is that if you can look at this particular diagram, this diagram came into picture after 1990s. Okay, when the IBM thought of better utilizing their servers rather than purchasing the new physical servers in order to assign a lot of work to them. So what happened? This begin by virtualizing the hardware resources. So it means that the hardwares have the compatibility that they can be used by multiple operating systems together in one go. So this is what the capability was. Now the point is that there are some rings being associated here for simplifying the work of this. You could say that the hardware based systems hardware resources, like any particular software or application which is lying here in the ring 0 will be given the highest priority, okay, then the one which is lying above in above rings. So the user applications which we need to run or to install by after we have worked with or we have launched a platform, then these user applications have been given the direct access to acquire these computer or system or computing resources, because ultimately the point is that if your operating system is compatible enough to work with the system's hardware, so will be the user applications. Okay, so just because the applications could run in many ways, they are placed in the ring number 3. Now, the first point here is that the x86 based operating systems are designed in such a manner that they can, you could say that they can easily or directly control these system hardwares which are been part of this host computer. Okay, it means that the operating systems have the capability that they can control and manage these hardware resources. So the point here is that what are these x86 based operating systems? So students, any operating system like Windows we are using nowadays, Ubuntu we are using, right? Linux we are using. These all are those platforms which are based on this x86 architecture. Means they can satisfy both 32-bit and 64-bit requirement for the instructions. Okay, so the point was the biggest challenge in this case was that there could be another sensitive instructions also which could be running in the another rings, right? Maybe they are not being very much prioritized, but yes, they could be highly sensitive that they need to be virtualized and they need the access of systems hardware resources. But the problem was that these instructions were getting some problem whenever they need to deal with this systems hardware. The problem was like the instructions were not actually getting fully utilized or fully virtualized. Okay, means their instruction sets were not compatible, the semantics in which they were being designed, right, the codes in which they were being designed were not compatible enough with the system's hardware. This was the problem. So this leads to the trouble. The trouble was like the hardware were not able to trap or to translate such instructions which were highly sensitive and were being privileged one also, right? So at the runtime, as this particular problem was being faced by the machines, that is why there was a need that there should be a middleware in between which could easily help these kind of instructions to be easily virtualized, so that the functionality of the machine can go in a very smooth manner. So the alternative techniques were being developed, which were basically been designed for handling such kind of issues, like the instructions to be understood or to make the compatible through any particular mode, like through the translation, by making operating system aware of the things, or by doing certain changes into the hypervisor or the hardwares. Got it? So now we are going to learn about these techniques. So first thing is, here there are three techniques which were been developed after this issue. The first one was full virtualization, means to fully virtualize those instructions which cannot be virtualized by the machine directly. So how we were doing that? A technique we use, which we call it as a binary translation. We will be learning in detail in the later part of the session. Then there comes the second technique, which is operating system assisted virtualization. Now, operating systems have provided within the capability that they should have the capability to virtualize those instructions or to translate those instructions by themselves, which are not be virtualized by the machine. Then there comes the third type, which is the hardware assisted virtualization. Now, the hardware assisted virtualization comes into picture like the hardware resources are being designed in a manner that they can automatically trap or to virtualize such instructions which are not compatible enough within the machine resources. So let's now discuss about the full and operating system assisted and hardware assisted virtualization in more detail. So here it is, the very first one, which is full virtualization by using the binary translation. So binary translation is the capability or the facility which has been used by this full virtualization technology. So in order to understand it, first of all, just have a quick eye on this particular diagram. It is quite related, right? See, you can see here the host computer system hardware is available here only, which is lying, you could say, at the back end. It is the backbone of a machine. Now, in the ring 0, we are placing a VMM. Now, VMM is virtual machine monitor, or I can also name it as a hypervisor. Got it? So we know the capabilities of a hypervisor now. So what we did, in the highest priority ring, we have placed the hypervisor, so that in these rings, in the above rings, if any of the guest operating system would be launched or installed, they could be talking to this hypervisor first, and then the hypervisor will make the compatibility of this guest within the system's hardware resources. So you can see how this thing will be done. There could be few operating systems who are not compatible, or whose instruction set is been designed using some different syntaxes and semantics, right? So in order to make them virtualized over this system hardware, what the hypervisor will do, hypervisor will make the translation of those instructions which are highly privileged one through this binary translation mode into the one which could easily be understood by the system's hardware, so that this communication can take place in a smoother manner. And in the meantime, once your operating system is compatible, the user applications can directly execute their requests by providing a direct access to the system hardware resources. So each virtual machine monitor, now what this the capability of this VMM is, it provides each virtual machine with the service of a physical system, including the virtual BIOS, virtual devices, and virtual memory management. So this will further ease the task of, you could say, that binary translation. But there was a problem, or I must say the cons of using the binary translation. The con was that this binary translation was happening only at runtime. Means when we are supposed to run the any particular instruction or any particular application or process. So every time when we are performing or running the same task or same job, at the runtime, the binary translation was actually consuming some time to translate those instructions, because binary simply means to change the data or the instruction into the form of 0 and 1. So it was consuming a lot of time. So as it was taking the time, so overhead was been there when we were using such kind of facility in full virtualization. So what we did to overcome this overhead, which has been occurring in the hypervisor, we facilitated with a new technology, which was the operating system assisted virtualization technology, or the another name is the para virtualization technology. So what it is? First of all, let's look into this particular diagram again. So there is a host operating system. Now what we did, we have taken the virtualization layer from this ring number 0, and we have simply placed it in between the host and the ring 0. Okay, so what is the capability of the instance or the software which is placed in the ring number 0? In ring 0, the guest operating systems which have the capability to make modification into their kernels, like if I am talking about Linux, which is an open source operating system, right? So these operating systems have the capability to update their codes, to make changes into their codes. So this para virtualized operating system will use this hypercalls facility now to virtualize certain instructions which cannot be virtualized by the system's hardware. Okay, so this will simply make the compatibility more easier. But in order to run a virtualization a guest operating system, we need a platform that is a hypervisor. That is why we have placed the virtualization layer below it, and through this virtualization layer only we will be able to work with the system's hardware. And in the meantime, the user instructions as it is can directly have the access to the system hardware. So the basic point here is the operating systems which we are using are the open source. So this is, you could say, a restriction here. So when the operating system is itself virtualizing the instructions which are prioritized one and which are highly sensitive in nature, then it is actually reducing the overhead as it was being caused in case of full virtualization. So hypercall is the basic technique which has been used by the operating system's kernel to make changes in the instructions and to lead for the compatibility between the system's hardware as well as the operating system. All right. So there comes the third one. Now the third one was into the picture because in the second, which was the para virtualization, the restriction was that this particular thing can be applied only to or restricted to those operating systems which are open source. Like if I am talking about Windows, Windows is not an open source operating system. So it means I am restricted to use only specific platforms here to work with such kind of virtualization technique. So what we did, instead of relying on the operating systems or on the binary translation, what we did is that we have designed a third kind of virtualization technique, which is hardware assisted virtualization. Now, what does it do? So basically, in the ring 0, guest operating system has been placed, okay, and in between the guest operating system and system's hardware is lying the hypervisor or a virtual machine monitor. So what happens is that by automatically, this hypervisor is basically running in the root privilege mode. You might be aware of the root mode, which we are normally using in our gadgets. Maybe it is a mobile phone, or it is a laptop or another kind of electronic media, right? So in the root mode, what we are doing is we are running this hypervisor. So what it is doing, as it has been running in the root mode, so it automatically, so this is the important point to understand here, automatically taking and trapping those sensitive and privileged instructions or calls of the guest operating systems and automatically translating it into the virtualized one, so that the compatibility of this guest OS can be made within the system's hardware. Okay, so nowadays a lot of work or research has been done on the hardware assisted virtualization technology. Like example is that Intel has designed its VT technology, in which they have implemented the hardware assisted virtualization facility. Same is the case with the AMD processors. They have also uh, installed or established AMD V kind of processors, which are equipped with the hardware assisted facility. So this thing has been written here as well. So the point is that the hardware assisted virtualization, in this, the hypervisor is automatically trapping and been uh, changing or virtualizing the prioritized or privileged base calls into the meaningful one, so that the system hardware can easily take into it, can easily use it, can easily understand it. So here it is. This was all about the three kinds of virtualization facilities. Now, in the end, we are going to compare all of these three technologies with certain key points. Like if I am talking about full virtualization, then hardware assisted virtualization, and if I compare them with the third, which is the operating system assisted virtualization or para virtualization, so the technique being used in case of full virtualization is the binary translation and direct execution of the user apps, right? Same in case of this particular hardware assisted virtualization, we need to exit to the root mode on the privileged instruction. Got it? We need to, usually the hypervisor is running in the root mode. So whenever we need to make the non-virtualized instructions to virtualize one, then we will be shuffling to the root privilege mode. Then there comes the third one, which is the operating system assisted or para virtualization. So these are the one which are using the technique of hypercalls. Now there comes the next, guest modification or the compatibility. Means how many of these techniques are required that they can have the capability to make changes into the guest operating system. So unmodified guest operating system, we need not to modify it because hypervisor is doing it for us through the binary translation, and it is highly compatible also. Hardware assisted also doesn't require to make any changes into the guest operating system. It is also highly compatible. But when we talk about the para virtualization, we need to use to you could say modify into the guest operating system using the hypercalls facility, so that it can run on native hardware or the other hypervisor. So means this is restricted, and we need to make changes into the guest operating systems. So its compatibility is poor because we cannot use it on the Windows operating systems, as we cannot make changes into such kind of operating systems kernel. Then there comes the next about the performance. So far, the performance is good or better in certain cases, depending upon how and where we are using it and who is using such kind of technology. So full virtualization has been opted by VMware, Microsoft, Parallels. Same is with the hardware assisted virtualization. Zen is included here. And this para virtualization facility has been taken by the VMware and Zen technology both. So is guest operating system hypervisor independent? Yes, in case of this full virtualization, we need not to depend upon the hypervisor, right? You might be remembering that when we were looking at the diagram here, in the ring 0 directly the operating system was been lying here. Okay, so guest is actually a guest operating system hypervisor independency is there. It is not relying on the hypervisor so that to perform its activities, right? Same is the thing, this is also independent, but here it is lying that there is a need of specialized kind of hypervisor. Means I cannot use any other hypervisor in order to work with para virtualization. I need to restrict to the Zen hypervisor only, or VMI Linux hypervisor is can only be used, okay, in order to work with this OS assisted virtualization. Here in these, I can use any kind of hypervisor technology to utilize the full virtualization or hardware assisted virtualization. So, with this, students, I hope that you are able to understand the virtualization techniques. Thank you so much for joining this session.